In this segment, I want to provide some quick tips on responding to numerical problems. Most of the SCX courses are quantitative in nature, so most of the problems will require numerical responses. So here's some quick rules. Use a period symbol, the dot, to designate a decimal point, not a comma. Never enter commas or any other notation to separate thousands. If your answer is 12,340, enter that in 12340, not 12, 340. We don't need the separator there. Never enter currency or percentage signs, just enter the raw number. We'll always allow some tolerance for these answers. So for example, if the answer is 12,340, we might allow a number as low as 12,330 and as high as 12,350. We'll always have a little bit of tolerance range in there. And if it's a multi-part problem, it's very important that you check the solution of the previous problem. So for example, let's say part B of a problem uses the answer in part A. So you might put a number in for part A, you get it correct. Always look at the explanation to see if you were on the, you might have been at the very end of the range of the tolerance, right? We'll tell you a new number to use that's the dead correct answer, because then that'll limit the error propagation. You should use that number going forward. So even if you got part A right in that example, you should still check and make sure that we're telling you to use that number or a slightly different number. And we'll always give you guidance on how many decimal places to use or the number of significant digits. So the general rule for rounding, and in this example I'm rounding to an integer with no decimal places, and I have it here in terms of x, so x could be 7. So let's just write 7 in wherever all the x is. So let's say your numerical answer comes out and it's between 7.0 and 7.49999, and we're being asked to round this to no decimal places. I would round down. If the answer is between 7.5000 up to 7.999, I would round up to 8. So the break point is 5.0. So if it's a 0 to 4999, round down. 50 up to 9999, round up. All right, so let's give some examples here. So here's a simple question. What's the area of a circle? I give you a radius of 5.62 miles. We all know that the area is pi r squared, and pi has an infinite number of decimal places. It does not influence our significant digits, though. Our significant digits here are 5.62, so we really have 3 significant digits. So the answer from your calculator from a spreadsheet will be 99.225235196. That's probably not what you're going to enter. So if we're asking you to say, hey, round to the nearest integer, then you would enter 99, because 2, right, is less than 5. Now, what if I say to the nearest 1 decimal place? Well, in that case, it'd be 99.2, because again, the second decimal place, 2, is less than 5. What if I say round to the nearest 2 decimal places? In that case, I'm looking here, 5, it's higher, it's 50, right? So I'm going to make it 99.23. I would round that up because it's 0.225. If I say round to the nearest 3 decimal places, then it's 99.225 because the 4th decimal place is a 2. So this should be pretty simple. Sometimes I'll tell you to round up or down. So if I say round up to the nearest integer, you would say 100, because going up, 100 is the next closest integer to 99 point whatever. I could also say round down to the nearest integer, and then I would just go down to 99. So these are simple rules. When in doubt, just think it through and just remember the rounding rule.